guys, welcome back to another video. In today's video, we're actually be doing a video regarding a what's it worth on a Loomian that was from 2019. Now you may be wondering as to why I'm actually making a what's it worth regarding something that was actually almost 5 years ago. And well, to be honest, since it is related to the whole Xmas event scenario, I figured why not show a Santa Ragoon. However, this isn't just any normal Santa Ragoon. No, in fact, if you guys do remember, at the time in which this Loomian was released, there was no such thing as gammas, and SA chances were harder to find back then. So with that being said, here is SA Santa Ragoon, which was actually donated, not lended, donated to me. And I'm just gonna quickly play a clip for my reaction. It's not gonna be long, but let's just cue that footage.
Holy War! Calm the f
Alright, that was one hectic reaction, but of course we're gonna cut that off short. But with that being said, it should be mentioned as to what this value is looking at right now, which it is looking around a 1.7 to 2,000 GR range. It is also to be said that this is at extremely high demand, second to most, with obviously Grinch being more expensive, which we may do a video on, to be on the lookout for that. It should also be stated that the odds of finding this back then were 1 in 1,000, and you couldn't roam boost this either. And for Gleamings, obviously it was just the Grinch that you can encounter. So that being said, the odds of finding this Loomian back then were a 1 in 256,000 chance to find. Now obviously if I am incorrect, please do make sure to correct me in the comment section down below. But without further ado, let's get straight into the trading process. All right, and let's go into the trade chat and let's type in looking for offers on SA Santa Ragoon, and boom. And now let's wait for offers. Alrighty, and we do have our first trade incoming from Herobrine_1688. So let's see what Herobrine has to trade with us today. So we do start off with a Gamma Rainbowist Metcher Net Pure Clever, a Gleam Ruby Oxydrake Robust Sluggish, a Gleaming Halloween Orange Ikazune Dual Robust, a Gleaming Halloween Purple Ikazune Pure Nimble, a Gleaming Christmas Ikazune Hyper Sluggish, unfortunately on that personality, a Gamma Terradescent from the Rainbow event Pure Nimble, a Gamma Christmas Gargolem Pure Foolish, unfortunate on the personality once again. We have the full rainbow line for Gleaming Halloween Akalos, red being Dull Smart, orange being Robust Foolish, yellow being Brawny Tender, green being Frail Smart, blue being Tender Smart, and purple being Hyper Clumsy. We do also have the Gleam Radiant event Sea Drake from the Lunar event, which is indifferent. But it does seem like this may be Herobrine's final trade, but we'll quickly check in a second. All right, so I did just ask Herobrine as to what the final offer is, and they just say all that and a box of Halloween Duskets, as well as a half a box of Santas and a perfect Gamma Gleaming Strawberry Swirl. And we did indeed swap out for a Gamma Dusket, which is in fact Pure Smart. Now with all this in mind, is this trade worth it? Unfortunately, this trade is not worth it. Do keep in mind that although all these Loomians are really well in GR and demand as well, you do have to keep in mind that the natures of most of them are actually major downgrades in terms of GR. And although this is in fact a Gamma Rainbowist Metronet, you do have to keep in mind that the Ragoon itself is standing at a whopping near 2,000 GR. So with all this being said, in terms of both GR and demand, the Ragoon itself is just way too much for all these Loomians, including the additional offers, which they did state earlier. So with this being said, this is gonna have to be a major thumbs down. But let's get into our next trade. Alrighty, and we do have another trade request incoming from Stacksus. So let's see what Stack has to trade with us today. So we sort of extremely strong with a Gleaming Halloween Red Dusket, which unfortunately is weak because of the hyper sluggish nature. But we do have a Gleaming Halloween Shachi, which is different, a Gamma Black Icy Gold Pure Brownie from the Llama Train Studio OT, a Gamma Halloween Wobblisk, which is in fact Pure Nimble, a Gamma Halloween Diborg Brawny Foolish, a Gleaming Halloween Red Ikazune Clever Sluggish, a Gleam SA Protagon, which is indeed Clumsy Clever, a Gamma Santa Dusket, which is in fact Pure Nimble. It does seem like this may be Stack's final trade, but we'll quickly check in a second. All right, so I did just ask Stack as to what his final trade is, and he did just say that's probably final. So with this in mind, we do actually have all these Loomians, including the Gamma Gargolems, which are from the Christmas events, which this one is in fact Tender Smart, this one is Pure Nimble, the Aviary one is Dull Smart. We do throw in 2 Gamma Icicles from Llama Train Studio OT, Brown and Pure Brawny, and the other one comes from a different OT entirely, which is Indifferent. We do also have a Gamma Orange Cosmere, which is Pure Nimble. So with all this being said, is this trade worth it? This trade is around and in between thumbs up pushing towards a thumbs up. Although you do have to keep in mind that the GR of all this looks really overwhelming. When you break it down, the GR, the natures of some of these Loomians aren't quite the best, including that of the Gleaming Halloween Dusket. And when you look at the GSA Xmas Protagon, do keep in mind it is Clumsy Clever. So although some of these natures are unfortunate, the GR and demand still prevails and is actually not a bad trade if you're looking at a minimalistic trade. Of course, being that this Santa Ragoon is in fact an indifferent, we're looking at the base GR of this, so this trade could be an in-between depending on your preference. With all that being said, let's get into our next trade. Alrighty, and we do have our next trades incoming from Bloxfruit Noob 6454 and Dennis Fan 24244. So So let's first trade blocks for it. Let's see what blocks has to trade with us today. Alrighty, we do throw in a Gleam Helvantic, pure smart, 2 Nightmares, one being hyper frail and clumsy nimble, Gamma Kratel from the Xmas event, pure nimble, Gamma Jimby, pure nimble, Christmas Ikazune, hyper clumsy, PvP ready Chianta, brawny, robust, very clumsy, Relakalos. We do swap in with a green Xmas Protagon, pure nimble, 2 Lumberjack Souls, tender nimble, and pure brawny, another green Xmas Protagon at the bottom right, 2 Sandaduskets being pure nimble and smart foolish, and lastly it does seem like we do have Greenline indifferent. Alright, so before I could even ask if this was our final trade, it does seem like it is, considering the fact that it did say that this is my best Loomians. Alright, so with this being said, is this trade worth it? I think this trade should be a no-brainer. Unfortunately, and sorry blocks, this trade is gonna have to be a massive thumb down. This GR is nowhere near the actual range of pushing maybe even 1 to 2 GR at best. So with that being said, I don't have to do a whole lot of explaining, but I think we know the answer to this. But let's get into our next trade. Alrighty, and we do have our next trade incoming from Dennis Fan 24244. So let's see what Dennis has to trade with us today. Alright, and we do start with a Gleam Christmas Nevermere, hyper sluggish, very unfortunate on the nature, a Gleam Protagon, pure nimble, a Gleam Ikazune, brawny sluggish, once again unfortunate on the nature, a Gleam Dakuda, once again the nature, a Gleam Icicle, pure nimble, Gleam Xmas Protagon, Gleam White Xmas Protagon, pure nimble, 2 Gamma Snails, one being pure nimble, and the other one being pure nimble as well, a Gleam Halloween Purple Dakuda, pure nimble, a Gleam Dusket, which is in fact robust clumsy, and it does seem like this may be Dennis's final trade, but we'll quickly check in a second. Alright, so I did just ask Dennis as to what the final trade is, and he did just say this with the 2 Gamma Snails, so this essentially. So this being said, is this trade worth it? Unfortunately, this trade is gonna have to be a major thumbs down. Do keep in mind, although the Gamma Snails are around 1.4-ish with terrible demand, you do have to keep in mind that all the Loomians do combined still don't really push in towards a 50 GR range at the very least. I'm seeing with the Gleam Christmas Nevermere at around 10 GR with terrible demand, the Gleam Halloween Dakota around 8 to demand. We do have the Gleam Dusket, which is unfortunately bad natured. We do have the Protagon, which is in fact pure nimble, so we're looking at better numbers with that, but overall when you combine everything together, we're not really looking around even close to 50 GR, so this is gonna have to be a no-brainer, a major thumbs down. But thank you Dennis for the trade, and let's get into our next trade. Alright, we do have another trade request incoming from TuxedoXtreme, so let's see what Tux has to trade with us today as our final trade. We do start off with a Gamma Rainbow West Santa Dusket, pure nimble, a Gamma Christmas Imkin, pure nimble, a Gamma Odiaga, pure nimble, a Gamma Wobblisk, clumsy nimble, a Gamma Purple Cosmore, indifferent, a Gleaming Halloween Yellow Dakuda, pure nimble, a Gleaming Halloween Purple Dakuda, pure nimble, a Gleam Christmas Aviary Gargolem, pure brawny, a Gleam Christmas Gargolem, which is pure nimble, a Gamma Ikazune, which is in fact pure nimble, a Gleam Anniversary Wobblisk, pure nimble, a Gamma Cephalops, which is pure nimble, a Gamma Dragodine, which is radiant, pure nimble, a Gamma Mutagon, pure nimble, and it does seem like this might be Tux's final trade, but we'll quickly check in a second. Alright, so I did just ask Tux as to what his final trade is, and he did just say everything here plus 5 Rainbow Wisps in box. So with this being said, is this trade worth it? Unfortunately, this trade is gonna have to be a thumbs down. Do keep in mind that although the Gamma Santa Dusket is Rainbow Wisp, you do have to keep in mind with all the GR intact, it doesn't really push towards that 1.7 minimum. Do keep in mind though, it isn't a terrible offer, as obviously all the Loomians together do equate to a really good amount of GR, but once again, like I did mention prior, it doesn't really push towards that 1.7, and this is gonna have to be a thumbs down. With that being said, this was not a terrible trade. Yeah guys, this is gonna be it for today's video. Hope you guys did enjoy. Make sure to like and subscribe, join our Discord server, as well as join our Twitter giveaway regarding the Gleaming Halloween Red Dakuda on Twitter right now. It is currently live and will be ending at 7,900 subscribers, so let's hit that milestone before the start of April. While you're at it, join our Roblox group, come some of that new merch. It is obviously 5 Robux and only 50 for the limited, so make sure to get it while you can. But with that being said, remember, pineapples are vegetables. I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care, stay safe, peace.